Good morning, boys and girls. We're back again for another time of learning. Today we're going to learn about science. So let me go over the TEK with you. It is 3.10b. Investigate how frogs and beetles undergo a series of orderly changes in their diverse life cycles. So what we're going to learn about today is frogs and beetles, but mainly frogs because I have more information on that. I'm not sure if you knew this, but there are over 5,000 different species of frogs. And each has a unique call. Isn't that cool? And they don't need to drink water. They absorb it through their skin. And some frogs can even jump 20 times their body length. Pretty cool, huh? One last fact. Some frogs also live in trees as well as ponds and streams and lakes. And some frogs are even poisonous. There's one in particular that's very poisonous called the golden poison frog that lives in Colombia. But don't worry, all the frogs here in Texas, they're not poisonous. So you can feel free and pick one up. Although if you pick one up, well, sometimes they get a little nervous, and if they're nervous when you pick one up, they might actually go to the bathroom on your hand. But other than that, frogs are perfectly fine and safe. Beetles as well we'll cover just briefly at the end of this, but I'm mainly focusing on frogs today. So with that in mind, we're going to talk about the life cycle of frogs. The first thing a frog does is it lays eggs. Now the eggs that it lays has like a jelly substance. So the actual egg is the dark circle, and around it is a jellyish like substance. This protects the egg and also makes it form into a cluster. So if you see a cluster like this in a pond or a stream or a lake, that's what it is. The next stage is called the tadpole stage. And this is when the frog now has a head and a tail, and these are kind of like fins, and it helps it move and swim in the water. The next stage is called the froglet, and that is a tadpole with 2 legs. No, the front legs haven't developed yet, just those back legs. It looks pretty similar to the tadpole still, doesn't it? The next stage is called a young frog. And this stage you can see where the back legs are there, just like in the froglet, but now it has its front legs that are developed and it's a little bigger, and the back tail has gotten smaller in size. Finally, the tail disappears and you have a frog that you all know about. So I'm going to show you this again. This is called the life cycle of a frog. And as you can see, it starts with eggs, tadpole, froglet, young frog, and frog. Your assignment, boys and girls, is to do a life cycle of a frog. Or you may do the life cycle of a ladybug: egg, larva, pupa, and adult. If you're doing when you are doing your life cycle, you have to have your arrows and make it like a circle, because you start with eggs, then you move on to tadpole, froglet, young frog, and frog. And that is how the life of a frog is. If you choose to color it, that's fine, or you can just leave it as a drawing. Again, if you prefer to do the life cycle of a ladybug, it would be egg, larva, pupa, and then adult. Thank you so much, boys and girls. Keep on learning every day. We'll see you again. Bye-bye.